usual that we have meetings in this room. That's why our technical support's not what it would be if we was meeting in the other room. But what we found out is that oftentimes when people have their meal, they wander out and we don't ever see them again. So we've got you a captive audience, so we're going talk to you while we can. I'm going to ask Phillip to come up and to talk to us a few minutes about his trip. And you might want to use one of those stand-up mics over there. If you want this podium, I can give it to you. It's wrapped around the table.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Awesome. Well, first. No. Can everybody? All right, there we go. Awesome. So yeah, I just want to introduce myself one more time. He said my name is Phillip, and my name is Phillip Layne. I'm a current senior at Community Baptist High School here in Reedsville. And this summer it was a really busy summer. I was able to serve on mission in Kenya and in Brazil. But tonight I'm just gonna tell y'all mainly about Brazil and just try and keep it kind of brief. So with that being said, I just kind of want to give you a kind of layout of what we were doing while we were there. So we went down to work with the missionaries that our church sponsor, Byron and Michelle Atha. And the Athas have been in Brazil for probably close to 30 years now, serving in the northeast desert of Brazil, mainly in a city called Sobradinho. And we went down to help them. So just kind of tell you about that trip. When we first got there, we had an event planned for the day that we got there, and we landed and we got to their house and we thought everything was going smooth, and then it all fell through. And we're all kind of disappointed, like God, we were really excited about this. What's going on? Why does this got to get canceled? And it was really interesting how God worked through that being canceled. One of my friends who lives in Brazil, he called me and he was like, "Look, I know you play basketball. I've got some friends who are playing basketball. It'd be really cool if you came and played with them." So we were like, "All right, fine. We don't have anything since our plans fell through." So when we played basketball with them, and we met these probably 15, 16 guys. And we got to play with them, and we got to share just a really brief gospel message with them. And that was really awesome to see. And because of that, we were able to make a connection with them, with this one guy, mainly named Andre. And with Andre, we were able to set up 2 more times to go play basketball. And these other 2 times, it was a lot of kids. I think the biggest night that we had when we went to play basketball was about 60 or 70 kids. And we got to play basketball for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is awesome because, everybody likes to play basketball. So we got to play basketball with them, and then we got to all just circle up, and we have one of our team members go in and just share a devotional, and then just share the gospel. So they got to hear the gospel 2 or 3 times just through basketball and through plans falling through, which was just really, really incredible to see. Another highlight thing I want to talk about is the Athas are working in this interior town in the Sertão, which is like this desert in Brazil, in this town called Lages. And what they're doing in Lages is they've been starting these Bible studies, working towards the end goal of being able to start a small local congregation. And while we were there, we were able to be a part of that first church service with that congregation, it was super awesome to see how that's grown over the year that I went before this past summer, and just see how that went from these Bible studies in people's homes to a gathering place of believers for a church service. We also were able to go into this place called the Praça, which is in Lages, and it's like this really big open air market where all the really small villages will come, and they'll get their food, whatever they really kind of need for the week at this marketplace. And we were able to go through and just evangelize through a sketchboard ministry, and then after that, to kind of get people engaged, we were able to just take them aside and talk to them. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Share Jesus Without Fear method. Is anybody familiar with that? No? Okay. Well, real quick, I'll tell you about it. So Share Jesus Without Fear is a book, and it pretty much just gives you 5 questions to help you share the gospel of Jesus without really overthinking it. It just really simplifies it for you. And it's 5 simple questions. The first one is, do you have any spiritual beliefs? And that's a pretty straightforward question. And the next question is, to you, who is Jesus? And the really, really important part of that question is the to you. To you personally, who do you say Jesus is? Because a lot of people will be like, oh, Jesus, he was this dude, right? He just like, whatever, he lived through history, and just keep pushing, keep moving on. But like, once you get down deep of like, personally, like, who do you think Jesus is? Do you think Jesus is who he claimed to be, who he said to be? The third question is, do you believe in an afterlife? Whether that's a heaven or a hell or a reincarnation, something like that. And the next question is, if you do believe in an afterlife, where do you think you're going to go when you die? If you believe in heaven or hell, do you think you'll go to heaven? And if so, why? And the last question is, if what you believed was wrong, would you want somebody to tell you? And that last question is just like so important and so awesome, because if they say yes, then you've got a green light, you have an open door to just fully share the gospel with them. And that's really, really awesome. So we were able to use that in the marketplace with these people that we pulled aside after our sketchboard evangelism. There's a bigger church in a bigger city, not too far from where we were based, called Juazeiro. And this city is probably about the size of Greensboro, maybe a little bit bigger. And there's a church in that city. And we were able to go to that church and work with them and talk with them. And they have agreed and are now overseeing and kind of serving as the mother church for this really new congregation, this new church that's been started in Laje. So it was really, really awesome to see how that happened. In Sobradinho, where we were based, they have their main church services on a Sunday night. So it's a little bit different from here, but they have them on at night. So we were able, and I was able to speak and give a message at that church service, which was it was really cool to be able to see how the gospel of Christ is just cross-cultural, right? How borders and oceans and everything, there's such a community and a communion of believers through the gospel, right? Even if we don't speak the same language. So that was really, really, really awesome to see. And I think the last thing that I just kind of want to leave you with is we worked in this really small town called Abreos. And this town is notorious. It has a really, really bad reputation. All the kids in it have a reputation of being just like really troubled and not so great kids, right? And we were able to take these youth on a camping trip to this cavern, this big cave. And we get there and we have a soccer ball because Brazilians really, really like soccer. So we're playing soccer with them. We're getting absolutely cooked, but I mean, we tried. So we're playing soccer with them. We explore these caves, and we're crawling through these caves that you can't stand up in, and there's bats flying all around our heads. So we're all ducking because nobody wants to get like sniped by a bat. And this one kid that's kind of leading the charge through the cave, his name is Daniel, and these bats are flying, and you just look up and you see him just start smacking bats out of the air. They have a phrase in Brazil, it's called Jeito Brasileiro, and pretty much what it means is the Brazilian way. And that is definitely the phrase that would embody what went on at this camping trip. But we were able to play these games and just share a meal, have some s'mores, and then we were around a fire and we were just able to just kind of talk with them, right? Talk about life, talk about just how they're doing, how we're doing. And then we're able to share Jesus with them, right? And share how Jesus loves them so much, and we love them so much that Jesus would send us from America that's so far away to this little town of 60 to 80 people in the middle of the northeast desert of Brazil. So we were able to share with them that, and the conversations that came from that were so fruitful. It was so just encouraging because we were able to do the same thing the year before. And they were very closed off. They didn't really want to talk to us. They wanted to go on the camping trip because they wanted to get the food and just go play games, but they didn't really want to talk to us. But this past summer, it was just really encouraging and amazing to see how God worked through that and how He was able to open these doors for these conversations. So that's about all I have from my trip that I wanted to share with y'all. But I just wanted to thank you all again for supporting me in the ministry that we were able to be a part of in Brazil. And that's all I have. Thank you.